38 is probably one of our more sought after areas here in the Panhandle, but it comes with a pretty hefty price tag. So I wanted to do a quick video on what you could get for under $1 million. I'm going to cover both houses and condos so that you know what you can expect if you want to stay a little bit under a certain budget. I'm going to cover them kind of separately to try to make it all make sense. So just bear with me if it's a little bit all over the place. So let's start with the houses. If you're wanting to purchase a house in the 38 area for under $1 million, then you're really only going to have 3 locations as, spots with these. There will be a couple kind of speckled throughout, but for the most part, you're really going to be looking at the west end near Dune Island Beach, and then also the far east end, Inlet Beach, and then just north of 98 on that same east end, you're going to have Watersound Origins, which is a beautiful brand new subdivision. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure you've heard of Watersound itself. Watersound Origin, same folks. However, you don't automatically have access to that same south side Watersound amenities and HOA stuff. While it's kind of the same entity, it's still a bit separated. So you're going to have your own amenities on the north side there. If you wanted to purchase a club membership, you would have that ability to do so. But without that, just don't expect to also have the south side amenities to you. I can't stress that enough, just because I don't want anyone making a mistake. With these locations of the houses, pretty much all of these are going to be north of 38 proper, and some of them even north of 98. So your distance to the beach is going to be a little bit longer, but not long by any means. By no means at all. Definitely consider the traffic during the summertime, the times that you would be going to the beach. Everyone else is going to be going to the beach as well. But on the west end, where we were talking about over in the Dune Island area, you've got a couple great public beach accesses, and there's quite a bit of parking there as well. So that one's not so much of a huge issue, really. You just have to kind of plan around it, plan your times appropriately. And then also on the far east side over at Inlet Beach, you have quite a few public beach accesses there as well. And actually, that's not really a long walk, and it's not a very fast moving area, I guess. It's not like seaside that is just overrun with people all the time, and you're like fighting to even walk. Everybody's in the way, regardless whether it's, in a vehicle or on foot or a Segway or whatever it is. It's a little bit more slow paced over at Inlet Beach. They are building up considerably, so I don't know how long that will remain the case, but I have a feeling that it's going to always kind of maintain its charm, seeing as how it's kind of the outskirts part of 38. Now, all of that being said, Watersound Origins, which I also mentioned, that one, the drive is going to be a little bit different because you will have to cross over 98. Now, with the Dune Island area and with Inlet Beach area, you don't have to worry about 98. But with Watersound Origins, you do. Thankfully, you're on the most eastern end and just barely north of 98. So it's not a huge inconvenience, and there's a light there as well, so that's super helpful. You've also got plenty of amenities right there in Origins, unlike Dune Island and Inlet Beach, because those two are not really, they're not full-on subdivisions, they're just kind of sub areas of 30A, whereas Watersound Origins is an actual, gated, beautiful subdivision with its own amenities. It's an actual, entity. So in the event that, maybe it's raining or it's super, super crowded and you did not wake up in time to go to the beach that morning, and you're going to stay wherever you're at, you're going to have a lot more options of things to do right there in Watersound Origins than you would if you were in, say, Dune Island or Inlet Beach. I will say, though, if you're in the Dune Island area, then you've got Topsail right there. So you still have some park atmosphere and such over there. But in Inlet Beach, there's really nothing over there except some residential properties and then accessing the beach. For the condos, I'm going to kind of lump condos and townhouses together because, they're attached residences. And typically if someone's considering a condo, they're open to a townhouse. So the information that I'm going to provide is going to be for both of those as well. Now, you can find these significantly easier than you can find a house in this price point. The only places you're really not going to be able to find an attached single family residence for under $1 million is going to be Seaside, Grayton Beach, and of course, Alice Beach, which I'm sure nobody is surprised by this at all if you're at all familiar with 30A. Whether you are or are not familiar with 30A, I do want to say thank you for viewing my videos. Thank you to all my returning viewers, to all of my subscribers, and of course, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also ding the bell so that you get notified every time I do another video. This way you will be the most informed person on all things 30A, especially if you're considering purchasing in the area. Selfish plug, I am a real estate agent in the 30A area, servicing everything from Dune Allen to Inlet Beach. So if you have any questions at all in the area, whether you're just coming to visit or you're considering purchasing now or in the future, all of my contact information is on the screen and I would love for you to reach out to me. As of today, and of course we're in March of 2023 as I'm shooting this video, for houses, you can find them as low as like just under 200 square feet and then all the way up to 2,600 square feet. So just because you're staying under $1 million doesn't mean that you can't get quite a house that will actually fit, well, depending on how big your family is. If you have a ton of family or maybe you're multi-generational, maybe this size house isn't going to work for you. But for, the average family, we should be able to find you something very easily. For the most part, we're going to see houses ranging from around 1,000 to 2,300 square feet. And a lot of them are going to be 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's pretty standard, but you will see some other ones speckled in there. So you can find some 2-2s and some 4-3s, at least at the time of this shooting. We all know that prices continue to go up, so things are constantly changing. So if we move on to condos and townhouses, we already know that our location is a whole lot more widespread. You have a lot more opportunities there, and you can find properties that are super small and just studio style, or even as big as I found one that was a 4-bedroom, 4-bath condo for under $1 million. It was absolutely gorgeous. So if you were thinking, well, I've got my family, so I don't know if I can do a condo because I'm not sure if we'll all fit in there comfortably, we can probably actually find you something that will fit all of you just beautifully and significantly closer to the beach. A lot of these condos are going to be much closer to the beach, which means not so much time and energy schlepping your stuff from the location to the beach and just, an easier lifestyle. You don't have to worry about maintaining a yard or, a lot of your utility fees are going to get wrapped up into the HOA a lot of times. So sometimes that difference in mortgage, from purchasing a house is actually, kind of a wash once you put in the HOA fees and your utilities, a lot of times the majority of those being covered by the HOA when you purchase a condo. So if you have any questions about those numbers, definitely give me a call, a text, or an email. Let me know what budget you're trying to stay under monthly, and I'll let you know which ones are going to kind of fit what you're looking for. I briefly touched on HOAs for these condos, but please keep in mind that a lot of the houses are going to come with HOA dues as well. And with these differing HOAs are also going to come different limitations. Some are going to allow pets, some are not. Some are going to allow short-term rentals and some are not. And of course, that last part is going to be really important to someone who is either purchasing as an investment property and wants to make sure that they can short-term rent their property out for profit, or someone who's looking to move to the area or even just use it as a secondary house, but doesn't want to be near a bunch of short-term rentals. So definitely keep that in mind according to what your goals are with your next purchase. I've actually had quite a few folks reach out to me that it was kind of funny because the majority of folks that reach out, I feel like, want to short-term rent out their properties and investments. They want to use it just, when they can get down here in between work, or maybe they're purchasing because they work out here sometimes and they want to have a nicer location to come stay at and then make some money when they're not using it. So it seemed like for a long time, that was the majority of people I was working with. But now it seems to have kind of flip-flopped dropped a little bit, and a lot of people are looking to move to the area on a permanent basis and don't want to be anywhere near the short-term rentals. So it's definitely a mixed bag right now, and you're going to see little pockets everywhere along 30A, both for houses and condos that either will or will not allow short-term rentals. One of the questions that I get asked a lot about purchasing on 30A is what would be the best investment if you're wanting to rent it out and, you know, make a profit on something that you're only using part of the year. What folks typically look for whenever they're wanting to, you know, go on vacation is the most easy access to the beach. So I would make that as high of a priority as you can, is just quick access to the beach. And if you can get a beach view, that is phenomenal. These are the things that tend to rent out the fastest. Having 2 or more bedrooms is also highly sought after, because typically when someone's coming on vacation, it's not just one person. Usually it's going to be a couple people. Sometimes it's a family or 2 couples, something like that. Or, you know, a couple of friends that are coming on their own. So it's a lot easier to market those to, you know, a wider audience as opposed to having just 1 bedroom. The majority of it is just about marketing to the widest audience. So if you have, say, a 2-bedroom condo very, very close to the water with some kind of peekaboo view, you know, depending on what your budget is, of course, then that's really going to get you the most audience. If it's a house, then yeah, a lot of folks are going to want that as well. It's just not capturing the widest audience, because even say all the 1-bedroom places got booked up and someone was wanting to come out here, it's still highly possible that they could afford a 2-bedroom location and would just book it themselves, as opposed to if a group of 3, you know, and all wanting separate beds or something, they needed a place and, you know, all the 2 beds were booked up, they might not want to downscale to a single bed. So it's all about appealing to the masses, essentially, whenever you're considering purchasing, because, you know, we're doing this for a business and for a profit. But then you also want to consider, what are you personally going to use it for? Because if your goal is to use it a considerable amount of time, then you really want to make sure that it is going to work for your needs. And if you have a family, then their needs, or if you have someone specifically in your family that you want to be able to use this property, you know, maybe someone is disabled, then, you know, those things need to be taken into consideration as well. If you have any questions about that, or maybe you have a unique situation and you need some, you know, maybe not emotional and more a step back kind of view of the situation to help you determine what would work best for you and your family, I would absolutely love to hear from you and help you with this process. The good news about purchasing on 30A, regardless of the location and regardless of the price point, is that you are going to be close to restaurants. So you're not always going to have to cook, whether you're coming down for vacation or you're, you know, purchasing for the long term and you just don't feel like cooking. Maybe you got super sunburnt out on the beach over the weekend and you're like, I'm dead, just bring me food. There will be options. So whether you're purchasing a house or a condo in this price point, it doesn't matter. You will have access to dining, and that is a lovely thing. As far, you know, west as Dune Allen and then as far east as Inlet Beach, you have options right there in those very specific areas. And then of course, like I said, Watersound Origins, they have their own restaurant right there within the subdivision. So that'll be something that you can access as well. If you are considering purchasing a property and renting it out, I would absolutely love to hear from you. I have my own rental projection calculator, so I can help you run the numbers before you even consider a price point and let you know what you would be looking at, what your mortgage would be looking at, and combine those numbers so that you know where you feel comfortable. If you're looking to purchase to move here, well, then that just makes my job that much easier, and I can absolutely help you with that as well. If you have any questions about real estate in the 30A area, all of my contact information is on the screen. And again, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you get notified every time I do another video on 30A. And I will see you guys at the next one. Bye.